Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dynasty Kings podcast. This is Austin.
And this is Jared.
And we are taking a look at the real Dynasty Kings draft. We're going to compare it to the mock draft 2.0 that we did right before it and see kind of what happened. So, with that said, let's get right into it, Jared. We were pretty correct about the first 3 picks. Actually, first 7 picks.
First
7.
First 7.
So, that's pretty solid. Anything interesting that you have to say about these? I thought in general, these are definitely the top players in the draft, and it made a lot of sense for the team needs and the position that they were at to take them there.
Yeah, I just played Kenny and Paul like a fiddle. I played them like a book. I read them like a book, and I played them like a fiddle. I obviously knew Bijan was going first because it was me. But then I knew that Kenny was going to take Gibbs, which would force Paul to take Anthony Richardson, which means that he wasn't going to take another quarterback at 6. And then I knew that Kenny really likes Stroud. If Paul took Richardson, I knew he was going to take Stroud.
Yep.
So he was also on the fence because he kind of wanted JSN there instead of Stroud, but he knew that if I took JSN. Or if he took JSN, I was going to take Stroud, and then he was going to try and trade up to the 106 if I had taken Bryce Young, but that wasn't the case. So he went with Stroud. I ended up taking JSN, which I'm super happy about. I think he's going to be a stud, and I have him matched up with Olave. So now I just need Garrett Wilson to complete the trio, or Marvin Harrison Jr. next year.
Yeah, it's looking like that way based off this Dalvin news. Now a New York Jet, Dalvin Cook.
Breaking news.
Yes.
It literally happened.
Breaking.
It happened right before we pressed record. Breaking news. Dalvin Cook, 8 mil.
So that definitely affects the Breece Hall stocks because, at least for this year. And Jared has the pick of the person who's the owner of Breece Hall. So that's probably going to work out pretty well with that plan and trying to get a trio of young wide receivers rather than just the duo.
Not only is he the owner of Breece Hall, he's also the owner of Trey Lance. Who also just had news dropped about him right before we clicked record. Yeah. And
Brock Purdy, starter.
Clearly, he said
clearly the starter.
He has been clearly the starter since last year.
Yep.
Has been no changes. So
yeah, and we love that. We love that for the Niners offense, and we love that for all the Purdy lovers out there.
All the Purdy boys, and we love that for my my first round picks next year. But anyway, we assumed he was going to go Quentin Johnston. It was a smarter pick. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. We'll see in the future. But
he likes the Chargers, so we thought he would lean that way for sure.
Yep, which had Bryce Young falling right into my lap as we predicted, but then he actually switched it up and took Johnston and Addison, which I think is smart. Yeah. But
and this was Paul drafting here at the 1.8. He took Jordan Addison, where we had him mocked grabbing Zay Flowers. We thought he would be a bigger fan of that style of player, but he's taking the upside with Addison here at 1.8.
And then we also thought Kenny was going to take Kincaid, and he... I guess just wanted the Flowers pick. Because I think more so he didn't want Zach to get Zay Flowers. I think that's what really had him over the edge.
Yeah.
And
I feel like if Flowers had been taken before, Kenny probably would have not gone Addison. He probably would have taken Kincaid. But I think maybe Kenny was a little bit higher on Flowers than some of the other position players there.
Yep. And then, so... we would have got that right. If Paul had taken Zay Flowers, I think we would have gotten the first round right.
Yep, I think so as well. But either way, that's pretty good. 7 for 10, not bad. And as you can see in the last pick, Zach ended up taking Dalton Kincaid at pick 10, which is a huge pick. I think he's going to have high upside as a tight end.
Yeah. So we were 10 for 10 in the first round. We got all the 10 players right, just 7 for 10 in the order. The second round, Omar fucked us. If you guys go back and watch the mock draft 2.0, Omar is a special guest, and he literally said that he was going to take Sam Laporta over Zach Charbonnet.
For the memes.
No, he still, he tinkered at he flip-flopped at the last second.
Some say.
And went Zach Charbonnet. So, before, and that was after him saying, I'm not taking Zach Charbonnet no matter what. He's a bitch.
Yeah, he's a bitch. That's right. On his team.
And now he's on his team, his first pick in this draft.
Yeah, but in all reality, I do like the pick. I think that having the handcuff to Ken Walker is a good move, and I think having Sam Laporta fall into my lap at 2.2 is excellent as well.
Yeah, I mean, you loved that, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. That was definitely who I wanted. Super hyped to see that happen. And then that also made a big shift at the 2.3 where this was Paul's pick, right? Took Kendre Miller.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Took Kendre Miller.
That's spicy.
Super spicy. He needed a running back. I think he was between him and I don't know if he ever really wanted A-Chain, so I think Kendre Miller was always really his pick.
Yeah.
But then, so we got that way wrong. We thought that Devin A-Chain went before Kendre Miller, and as you can see, he did not.
Yeah, at all.
At all. And then Kenny took Jonathan Mingo, which we did not get that right either.
No.
So
that one we had definitely him falling a little bit. But like we said, I think Kenny might have had a different wide receiver evaluation than the rest of the pack coming into this draft. And, he got his guy at 2.4. That seems like a fine pick. At this point, kind of all these wide receivers are definitely at the second level as far as, talent goes.
I would say the third level because I think JSN's on his own level, but
that's fair enough.
That's
fair
opinion.
enough. Yeah. I would put them all in that top tier, but I think JSN's at the top of that top tier. But I could see the argument for that. But yeah, with Kenny taking Jonathan Mingo, then Will Levis fell into your lap, which I know you were hyped about as well.
Dude, we got all my picks right. We got literally all of my picks right, including the third round.
Mm-hmm.
So, Will Levis falling to me at the 205. It gave me a sixth quarterback, which with only 8 bench spots, it's kind of ridiculous, and I don't need that many quarterbacks. So
taxi helps though.
The 4 taxi spots, they help, but yeah, I love Will Levis. I like his future. I think that he's going to be a dual threat. He's the second best dual threat quarterback in this draft, which I think people really sleep on his rushing ability, especially compared to Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, which is huge for fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a rocket arm. So yeah, we'll just have to see. Obviously, Tannehill's a starter for now, which I don't mind. I mean, he's the vet. He's proven it. He's gotten that team to the playoffs several years.
Yeah,
so,
he's gonna get this chance.
Yeah, I think he deserves it. But yeah, I'm pretty hype on him. But then we were wrong about Tyler. By the way, so far there has been 0 trades. We're halfway through the second round,
right?
And there were no trades.
No trades of picks. Yep, everybody just wants their guys. And at this point, we thought Tyler would be getting Kendre Miller, and I feel like if he was here, he's probably taking him. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard that he liked him for sure. But he grabbed another good playmaker, in my opinion, who we had going a little bit earlier as well. Rashee Rice with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, we say this every year. We don't know what the Chiefs are doing at wide receiver. And, I mean, if he hits, then he's Patrick Mahomes' wide receiver 1, which is never a bad thing.
It's high upside for sure. Like, extremely high upside. So, yeah, that's definitely sweet. And then Omar got his guy.
He didn't lie this time.
No, did not at all. He got Downs from the Indianapolis Colts there. Wide receiver. Big play guy. And, at this point, you're trying to get the high upside people. And I feel like that kind of describes Josh Downs perfectly. Yeah,
I mean, he wanted Josh Downs. He's this little guy, but like you said, he's a big play guy. So he's big on Josh Downs. And then we never included this in our mock draft 2.0.
Right, it was not available.
Wasn't available, and we didn't really want to spoil it for anybody else in our league so that Austin or I could get this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But Alexander Madison.
Yep, starting running back.
Talk about that pick.
He's a starting running back in the NFL. And this year I'm definitely trying to go all in. So I think with the 2.8, instead of taking a risk on A-Chain, which was definitely a thought I had because he was falling so low, and a couple of these other guys, I thought I would just go for the proven guy who I think is going to get a large snap count. And, hopefully it works out.
Yeah, I mean,
we know he's an NFL caliber running back.
We've seen him have insane games, 20, 30-point games. So now he has the whole backfield to himself. Some are saying Ty Chandler will still get some shares in there, but he's the starting running back in high octane, I would say top 10 offense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then we were right on the next pick. I called it. Mims. I knew Tyler was a Marvin Mims guy, and he loved him.
Yeah, he locked it in immediately.
Yeah, that was a fast pick. So
I think that's a good move for him at 2.9. That's a high upside wide receiver that you can get kind of late.
I love the pick because Cortland Sutton's like 27, 28. He won't be there. He's not in their forever plans. And then Jerry Jeudy's
got an expiring contract, right?
Yeah, it's ending either this year or next year. So, So Mims could easily be the future there, and who knows if Russell Wilson. I mean, he's locked in for a little bit, so
Yeah.
so he's kind of stuck with Russ. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I like the high upside pick, and at the end of the second round, I think it's value.
Exactly, and then now a massive value, someone that we did not think was going to be here this early at all. Andy grabbed, what is it? It's A-Chain, right? Or is it? Yeah, A-Chain.
Devon A-Chain.
Devon A-Chain, and Miami running back looks to be explosive, and at this pick, I mean, it's beyond worth the flyer.
Yeah, I mean, he should have never. I never expected him to fall this far, and
No.
he shouldn't have fallen this far.
No,
but
absolutely not.
I think everyone's just afraid of the size. I mean, we never see really NFL running backs that are his small becoming really fantasy relevant. So I think the only guy that you could really say is Darren Sproles. But were you ever really confident starting Darren Sproles? I wouldn't really say so. So.
Yeah.
But still at the 210, when everyone really thought he was like a high to mid second round pick, I mean, you have to smash that value right there.
No, I think so for sure. And then after that, Andy traded. This is the first trade of the draft, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah. He traded with Zach, traded up
Yep.
so that he could go back to back, and he grabbed Michael Mayer.
Yep. Oh, I don't remember what the trade was. I don't think you can look.
No, you can't.
That's unfortunate, but I think he traded back for sure, and then I think gave him a future pick. But got his guy. We had Andy mocked grabbing Mayer 210, and I think he would have if A-Chain was not available. But I mean, with that kind of value, I feel like those are two really solid players to go into with pick kind of in the back end of the draft.
Yeah, we kind of skimmed over this though. And Sleeper, if you're listening, there should be a feature where if I click on Michael Mayer, in the draft, or just after the draft, I should be able to see the pick that he was picked with. And I think they'll do this in the future. They're a smart company. But I think that there should be the trade history
Of the pick.
Yeah. Like when it's full entirety, even if it was traded like 3 years ago. It would just be a cool thing.
For sure.
Which I think they'll eventually get there, but
yeah,
they're working on other stuff.
Exactly. There's a lot of shit going on, so we'll let that ride for now. But yeah, that would be sweet because we were just trying to check it out, and I can't remember what the trade is. So, we'll do that close enough. But I think there was another trade here as well because it looks like Tyler traded up here for running back Chase Brown.
Yeah, Chase Brown.
Chase Brown of the Bengals. With Joe Mixon kind of looking a little decrepit towards the end of the season, this is a high upside pick. We know Tyler was lacking on running back value, so he saw an opportunity to get his guy and traded up and got him early in the third.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your guy, go get him. But we didn't even have him projected in the first 3 rounds, so
No.
I think he probably would have been there if he had just stayed at the 305. But he did what he had to do, and he grabbed his guy. So.
Yeah, he wanted him, so And then Omar.
Well, actually, I might be wrong because I think Zach did say that he was looking for him. He was looking at Chase Brown.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, probably in the middle. But. I think that, if you're high on somebody, it's a 3rd round pick. It's not anything insane. I think he probably gave up 2/3 or something for it. So
yeah.
But then Omar was not lying on this one either. Grabbed his guy,
Yep.
Jaden Reed, and heard that he's taking over slot duties currently in Green Bay. So that might have been a good pickup. But the question is going to be how efficient is Green Bay's offense, and can they support multiple wide receivers,
multiple running backs, and then our next pick, Luke Musgrave, who I knew Mo was going to take, but I thought he was going to take him a little bit later.
Yep.
But he's actually been looking like a good pick. He's been playing really well in the preseason, has been looking like a dog. So, so Luke Musgrave, that's the same problem though. Is how efficient is this Green Bay offense going to be? They have two rookies that are supposed to really make an impact, but you still have Christian Watson, you still have Romeo Doubs, you still have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. So, and then it's not Aaron Rodgers there anymore; it's Jordan Love.
Yep.
So,
the passing game could be suspect.
I think it's going to be suspect.
We'll see.
But
We'll see. But yeah, and then Andy with another pick here grabbed Jalen Hyatt. He loves grabbing the New York Giants wide receivers because one has to stick eventually, and I think at 3.5 that's going to be a good pick as well. We thought he would go a little bit earlier in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I like Jalen Hyatt. I think that he's going to be pretty good there.
Yeah.
He's already starting.
He has the opportunity.
So
that room is just so bad. Everybody who gets drafted, I feel like, is going to have an opportunity in the New York Giants room. But yeah, we'll see if he works out. It's a flyer pick. And that's kind of what happened here as well. I didn't have a third-round pick originally, but I traded the fourth this year and then a future fourth to... Actually, no, I think I did keep my fourth. I had just 2 future fourths to pick up this one.
To pick up this third? Are you serious? Mm-hmm. That's fire.
Yeah, so then I grabbed Hendon Hooker because I need quarterbacks for sure. And I can just stick him in IR for the season and hope that he gets better and starts, being a good quarterback.
Yeah, starting over Jared Goff eventually. If, Goff... I mean, we said it before on this podcast, but this could be his last year in Detroit. His last year is they could cut him for not a ton of penalty.
Right.
So if he doesn't perform this year, I think if Detroit misses the playoffs, then they might be out on Goff. But we'll just have to see. But this next pick is Michael Wilson, who I also knew Mo was high on, but
didn't think he was going to go in the 3rd.
We didn't even pick him in the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he just slipped my mind, and I knew that he liked Luke Musgrave and thought he was going to take him here, but I mean, as you can see, we thought Tank Bigsby was going to be an early 3rd round pick, and he didn't even go till the 4th.
Nah, he was not interested in it.
Yeah.
But after that, another wide receiver that you were high on, and this is a pick that we were pretty confident in.
This is my guy.
Yep.
This is my guy. Puka Nacua. I knew he was going to be here, and I got him.
And he's going to be one of the only wide receivers in the Rams because Cooper Kupp is injured. I think he'll be okay, but... I think that's going to give him some opportunity.
I think he'll be okay. I kind of want it. I don't want Puka to be the number 1 receiver. He can't be the number 1 receiver. No. At least not yet.
Yeah.
So
Not yet,
but one day. But then we had Roshan falling. He shouldn't have even fallen this far.
Yep.
All the way at the 309. We had him going the top of the 3rd.
And we knew Zach wanted him, but he just kept trading back because he knew people weren't going out to pick him.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And the same for the last pick in the 3rd. We knew Zach wanted Tank Dell, and we had him going at the 309, and he screwed us by going completely opposite. But
100%.
But he also traded to the 310 for the 302 with the trade with Tyler.
Yes.
So that's why we didn't really expect him to go back to back there. But we did have him taking both of those players. So
we're plugged in, to say the least.
Yeah, we're plugged
so I guess we can go through the 4th round pretty quickly, but there's not really a lot of things to say about these guys. Luke Schoonmaker going to Tyler, high upside guy, like. He could be Dallas's number 1 tight end if he gets a little bit better. Tank Bigsby to Kenny, needs running backs. He might end up being a starter. Gerald Everett to Paul. Yeah, I don't know about that one. He needed a starting tight end, I guess. Kayshon Boutte, I don't remember that guy.
You don't know who Kayshon Boutte is?
The New England wide receiver?
Yeah, New England rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, haven't been paying attention to that guy.
Oh,
Anything to say about that guy?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you trolling?
No, I mean, I heard him in fantasy circles, but he's going to be a scrub because he plays for the Patriots.
There it is. All right. Then we have Kyle taking Cedric Tillman.
His guy.
Yeah, it's his guy. I think he'll be good, but it's just crowded in Cleveland, and I don't know if he'll be good. I don't think he'll be good year 1 unless a bunch of injuries happen. But I like him. I like his upside. Zach Evans to Andy.
Could be the running back there. Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah. Not a believer in the Evans.
I want you to talk about the Tyjae Spears pick.
Yeah, I was pretty hyped for it. Honestly, I didn't think he was going to be there, but could be a running back 1 at some point. I feel like that's what the 4th round is for. You just want to take people who could get to that level eventually.
4th round is just random.
Yeah, it really is just the definition of dart throws.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just guys that you like.
And then Kyle got his boy Jerome Ford.
Yeah. He's a Hive guy. I'm not a fan.
No, not me either.
Especially being a Nick Chubb owner. I can't like Jerome Ford. It's scary.
Yeah.
But then I took Deneric Prince, which like we said, it's just dart throws, and
right. He could be the starter.
Pup Chaco, I'm not too confident with him. He's just a little dog. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire is just a little meatball. So if Prince can get some work, I think that he could be the next Pacheco.
Yeah, it's possible.
In the 4th round, that's what you want.
Yep. And then is this Mo's pick here at 10?
I believe so. I don't think he didn't trade it.
No, I don't think so, yeah. So who's it? Sean Tucker?
Yeah, Sean Tucker.
Yeah. Running back.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing there, too, where...
Could start.
If Rachaad White goes down, he could start easily.
Yeah. But I think White's nice. I think he's in for a good season this year, so definitely going to be a stash pick. But yeah, overall, I think everybody had pretty good drafts, and I think what we can do maybe next week is take a look at like what their teams look like with the additions, especially like the 3 of the bigger teams that added a bunch of guys, and kind of go from there.
All right.
Yeah, well, that makes sense to me. But yeah, overall, I think we did pretty good on our mock, and I think that this draft in general fell in a couple interesting ways, especially with some of the running backs just dropping to the back rounds. But yeah.
Yeah, the running backs, all of them fell, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, besides Kendre Miller, all the running backs went later than we expected. And Alexander Madison he was a big part of that, too.
Yeah.
Which we didn't really
That
touch
makes sense,
on.
for sure. But yeah, and I definitely think having free agents be able to be drafted helps a lot, and I think that spot was right for him as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anything else to say?
No, I mean,